Hey, what's up, everybody watching right now? I just wanted to have like a spur of the moment, kind of like an educational session right now. I know a lot of people out there probably, I don't know who's interested in bodybuilding on my channel, but I know that I'm getting back into this and I plan on getting back into, I plan on competing pretty soon on stage, but getting back to this, I do want to come out with something that nobody else is talking about right now as far as like saving money in the economy, especially when it comes to bodybuilding. And, you know, a lot of you want to gain size that do want to get in shape and get fit. Food is damn expensive. It's extremely expensive when it comes down to it. My food bill was probably like, what, $1,500 a month? Like, that's a lot of money when it comes down to it. Like, I don't want to spend any more than I have to. But of course, I'm not also going to be clipping coupons and stuff. We're going to go through all of this to a certain point, but right now we're going to tackle the buffet situation and how to put on weight. Everybody thinks that if you stuff your face with food, you're just going to gain all this size for some reason. I don't know why people think that, oh, I'm just going to stuff my face and engorge myself and become this massive glutton to put on size and put on muscle and get these hard rock toned abs and all this. It doesn't happen like that. But I'm going to show you how to be cost effective putting on size and putting on good muscle at the buffet, because these buffets are very tricky. The way they set this up is to your detriment. They want you to fail so they can make a lot of money. Buffets look like a setup, like a cost fail setup waiting to happen. Like they're going to lose money. You'd figure that a bunch of bodybuilders and people that just want to eat food or be fat asses go to a buffet, they're just going to put them out of business. Nope, because the buffets have a way to offset all those costs. And we're going to get into all of that and more right now. So, all right, that is a casino. So as you guys can see, that looks like a casino surrounded by food. Many casinos, they're trying to rip you off and rob you. But anyways, let's go ahead and put this on stage right now, because I want you guys to be prepared, especially if there are people that want to put on size, gain some weight, and, you know, build muscle. There's a certain way to do this. All right, let's get started.
Crucifix chain on my chest, old scars under this vest, ink and iron, battle born, got a Bible in the stone. Used to chase the mirror's rays, chrome and glass, those empty days, protein shakes and poison pride. Deadlifted, still dead inside. Then the thunder hit my soul. Church bells shook my heavy bones. Now I'm loading up on graves. Heavy word, light weight on my face. I'm flexing for the faith, not fame. Call me muscly man, bad, say my name. For the orthodox heart, I in my hands. I rock the debates like a calm storm man. From my past to a Christ-lit plan, I'm a flexing, praying, deadlift chad.
I know it's supposed to fill up the whole screen. I'm over here like I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna take some couple bites, but then it only covers up like half of the screen. I'm like, oh, I should do better editing than this. Like, get ready. Yeah, that was based off of a real image that I have. But anyways, back to this. So the content I want to show you is basically how to get ripped and how to look like a Greek god, but using the buffet to do this. The buffet people think is a easy way in. But the problem with this is they're going to rip you off in the process. And I'm going to show you how to avoid getting ripped off at the buffet. I wrote some notes because, of course, holy dialogue, do I have some information and tips and tricks for you. All right. Mostly the people that are going to be interested in this content are going to be men. I don't think that women want to build massive bulk muscle and have these Greek bodies, unless you identify as a man, whatever that is, that's a whole different thing. Or unless you want to do like a transformer sex change and then take a lot of testosterone, maybe that's what you want to do. I don't know. I'm only here to help you save money when it comes to putting on muscle, getting ripped, big and lean, because as you know, there's utility in this. If you want to protect your family, we're going to get ready so that way you can be capable of protecting your wife and kids and family. This isn't just for looks. It's so that way you can have utility as well, too. Wickmoto says, Marte, this is good timing. My kids are going to a buffet with one of his weight training buddies tomorrow. Yes, this is going to help you out. I'm going to help you navigate your way around the buffet to help you not throw money away and lose a lot of money. The buffets want to get you, and I'm going to show you how they get you every time you do. This can be healthy even if you're not a bodybuilder. If you want to go to the buffet with a family, I'm going to show you how to save a lot of money and get more bang for your buck when you go to the buffet, because the buffets have a nasty trick, a really nasty trick they like to do. So picture this. It's Friday night. You haven't eaten 6 breakfasts, and you walk into the restaurant with a singular primary mission to eat until you physically cannot move. But you're like, I just want to put on some size, gain some muscle, and then just get these gains because I got to protect my family, right? Some intruder comes in, you're struggling over the firearm because maybe they jumped the gun, literally, no pun intended, and there's a struggle, and next thing you know, it's just hand-to-hand combat. You have to be fit for duty to protect your family. So a lot of this is just not only utility, but helping you out on the nutritional aspect. But mostly, this is just saving money because these guys are shiesty. Especially at the buffet, they want to get you. So here's the thing, though. You pay your $25, you grab a warm plate, and your eyes lock onto the carving station in the distance. In your mind, this is in a battle. We see this battle all the time when we're at the buffet. No matter who you are, I don't care who you are, you're going to be eyeing everything. And mind you, this is a tactic. This is a tactic that all these buffets do. You estimate the cost of the shrimp, and then you tell yourself, I'm going to win. I'm going to eat $50 worth of food for 25 bucks. Whether or not you're a bodybuilder or not, you walk in there, you sit down, you unbuckle your belt, and you prepare to bankrupt the establishment. I'll tell you a story real quick. I went to a buffet once, and I was like, this was at the height of me trying to prepare for nationals as a bodybuilder. I go in with one of my powerlifting buddies, and I'm also powerlifting in the off season. They call him Bear. He's just a big-ass dude, and he was in law enforcement, too, and I worked. And we were like, we're going to put this establishment out of business. Don't do this at home. But me and him sat down, and I ate I think it was 18 plates of steak and veggies. And that they asked me to leave. They asked me and him to leave because after my 18 plates of steak and veggies, they were like, they didn't say that, but this is their excuse how they told me to leave. They were like, sir, you've been here since such and such, and we switched over to the lunch menu. You have to pay again for lunch. You know, of course, the waitress came over and she asked, she was like, can you guys move to a different table? There's a big family coming in. And I said, no problem. So I moved. I guess she didn't have the balls or guts or courage. Of course, she doesn't. She's a woman, to ask me to leave. So then we moved, and then she looked really perturbed. And I said, thank you. No problem. And so we moved to a booth or something like that. And then the manager then comes out and is like, hey, I know I sent the waitress out here to talk to you guys, but yeah, I'm going to have to ask you guys to leave. Either you guys are going to pay again or you guys have to leave. And I was like, what? It says all you can eat. So their excuse was since we switched from breakfast to lunch or lunch to dinner or something like that, you have to pay again because we were there for 4.5 hours eating. And I ate 18 plates of steak and veggies, and he was eating too. He was tearing it up. They had asked me to leave. I think that was their nice way of kicking me out the establishment. So I don't know if you guys have ever done this before. Have you ever eaten until your throat closed up? Don't ever do that. Anyways, going on from the subject, don't do that. It's really, really gluttonous to even get to that point. But I would suggest not doing that because that's not bodybuilding and you're hurting yourself. Don't get to the point to where you're doing that. So the buffet is like a casino. When you walk into the buffet, they're going to get you. They're going to try to bankrupt you. So you sit down, you unbuckle your belt, and you prepare to go bankrupt the establishment, but the manager's watching you from a corner. He isn't sweating at all. These managers, they do not sweat at all. They don't care. They're not calling security like they did for me. They're not doing that stuff because these people are smart. They're not sweating. In fact, the manager is smiling when you walk in there. And I'm going to lay down the groundwork of why he's doing this. Because while you think you're playing the system has played you before you even picked up a fork in these buffets. As a bodybuilder, I learned the ropes and got around this system really quick. So welcome to the surprisingly fragile economics of the all-you-can-eat buffet. It's a business model that on paper looks completely suicidal. I can't say that. I can't believe I said that. Self-deletion. It looks like self-deletion for your business. So in a normal restaurant, revenue scales with consumption. But at a buffet, revenue is fixed no matter what. One hungry sports team could theoretically wipe out the day's profits no matter what. Like, I was a bodybuilder for a very long time and still am. I could walk in with a bunch of bodybuilders and we could just clean up the establishment. Matter of fact, they probably got to kill the whole cow when I walk up. So I'm not only speaking to people who want to bodybuild, get lean, get in shape, but I'm talking to the average layman who doesn't want to get ripped off by the establishments. I learned a lot of tips and tricks, and I'm going to pass this down to you guys right now. So here's the thing, though. Like I was saying, if I walked in with a whole team of bodybuilders, a football team or something like that, we could wipe out their revenue in a heartbeat. So your question may be, how do they survive? The answer isn't just cheap food. It's a sophisticated mix of psychology, engineering, and biology. And I've notated this, and this is how they get you every time, and I'm going to break this down. A buffet isn't a restaurant. Don't look at it as a restaurant. It's a casino. And the house has designed the floor to ensure that they always have the statistical edge. Like I said, it's a casino. You're surrounded by all these mini slot machines, and I'm going to tell you what they are. So while the modern buffet began in the 1940s in Las Vegas as a cheap loss leader to keep the gamblers in the building, today the buffet is the business now. They've switched mantras. This industry has warped itself a whole lot. It's not just a buffet. It's a business venture for people. You look at a buffet and you'd be like, they're going to lose money. As soon as I walk in, I'm going to eat them out of house and home. There's no slot machine to subsidize the crab legs. I'll tell you right now, because crab legs cost a lot of money. The steak cost a lot of money too. So this leads us to the first line of defense, the architecture of the filler. When you walk into all-you-can-eat buffet, the next time you walk in, stop and look at the layout. I want you to imagine you're courting your next wife. I know this is a really weird hypothetical. I mean, it's not even hypothetical. I'm doing a weird comparison that I'm going to clear up for you right now. Imagine you're going to court this beautiful woman. She looks gorgeous, but hold on, wait. Don't just jump the bones. Don't do any of this degenerate stuff. Sit and wait and see what you're looking at right now. Because in the front, they're going to present degeneracy. They're going to have desserts, cakes, all this at the front. It takes a really patient man to get to know a woman. You're going to want to know the layout. You're going to want to know how it functions. You're going to want to know the structure, all this other stuff. You just don't want to jump in because that's bad. Like I said, buffets have the degeneracy up front, all the dessert and everything else. You don't want to do this, but just like a woman, you want to court her to get to know her, right? And in getting to know her, you're going to have a better plan, a better strategy, and approach always determines your response no matter what. So you don't want empty filler. You don't want empty conversation sometimes. It's not going to fill you up. That's the cakes. The restaurant's going to throw you that right away. Matter of fact, the buffet, not the restaurant, right away. So in the process of courting somebody, get to what makes the whole restaurant stable. And that is the expensive food. All of the expensive food is in the back. Like, that's where it's at. The architecture. The next time you walk into a buffet, stop and look at the layout. It's never random. This is all planned. Strategically planned. The prime real estate, the area you hit first, where your hunger's at its peak, is never where the steak is at. When you approach a woman, you can look at her curves, all this other stuff. The prime real estate is in her character. And of course, if you're Christian, her relationship with God. That's the meat, the meat of the situation. Not the dessert, all these worldly things that people look at when you look at a buffet. I know it's a weird comparison sometimes when I look at this, but when you approach a buffet, you never ever want to just jump in head first, and you never want to approach a buffet starving. If you're in the dating market, don't approach a woman with all this lust. Don't approach it starving. People think, oh, I'm going to put them out of house and home when I go to a buffet, you know, if I don't eat all day. No, because the first time that you eat, this is one of the tricks that I'm going to give you right now. Make sure that you drink throughout the day. Make sure you drink so your stomach is ready for the grand entrance. And then make sure you eat light foods throughout the day, things like this, like maybe a protein shake if you're into fitness, trying to lose weight. Don't just not eat, because the first time you eat something heavy, your stomach's going to cramp and it's going to F you up for your next plate. That's how you're just going to undo yourself. So contrary to popular belief, don't go on a date starving. Don't go on a date with extreme lust, because your decision-making skills are going to be impaired as well too. Become the wiser person in the ability to court women. Just like you're courting this buffet, treat it the same way. Treat it with the same discipline that you have when you date a woman. Don't get there and just try to get your fill and bounce. That's crazy, because the first time you do that, everything at the front of the buffet is going to be fillers. And when you have fillers, you're not going to be a happy person, because pastas, you know, rice, all these extra carbs aren't going to help you out. They're just going to fill you up so that way all the prime real estate can be taken up. And then we're like, ah, God, all the steaks in the back, that's the last thing. So we're really saving money. Carbs are cheap. Rice is cheap. Pasta is cheap. Potatoes are cheap. All this is cheap. That's where they're going to get you. They want you to fill up on all that crap. All that's going to help you gain weight, but it's not the weight that you want. The everything that you want is earned in the back of the restaurant. That's what you want. The things that you want to earn take time. Go to the back of the buffet and get everything you need. That's what you need to do. It's never in the front. Just like a woman, when she's presenting on a date, even if she's modest and covering up, you're going to see some curves. You're going to look at her beautiful smile, all this at front. Take your time, get to know her, court her, see if she may be really the one. This buffet may have, you know, scant bits of steak in the back. It may not be the one for you. They may not have crab legs, but take your time, study. When you go to a buffet, realize how they're ripping you off.
Open your eyes, Clyde. Don't you see what's going on here? The buffet's rigged.
No
Clyde.
way.
They got cheap product up here at the front.
No.
And meanwhile, the big ticket items are here right at the...
Yeah, right in the back. They always put the cheap stuff in the front. And you never want to date a girl who leads with all this cheap stuff. You don't want to, because, and think about it, if it's just as easy for you, it's probably easy for the next person. The buffets are designed this way to trick you and rip you off. That's the way that they're designed. That's like the architecture. If you go to a buffet, take a look at how the layout is. All this shit is planned. It's all planned. In this dating market, we have a ton of OF girls out there on dating sites. OF girls are all over dating sites. Matter of fact, they're advertising themselves. Yes, I'm doing a conflation right now with food. Everything is designed for you to get a heaping help of lust, of quick fixes and everything else. They're $5 for my OF and all this other stuff. Just like a restaurant, the equivalent is every time you go to a buffet, when you look at the salads, how come the spoons and the ladles are massive? Go to the rice, go to the spaghetti, massive tongs, massive. Meanwhile, with the meat in the back, the tongs are tiny because they want to save money. They're going to give you the illusion that you're getting a lot because the tongs are tinier. Take a look at this. If you think that this is like just a strategic plan or just happenstance, it's not happenstance. It's a strategic plan. The tongs that they designed for salads and for, I would say, your carbs and your really cheap dishes, they're going to be big spoons, big forks, big tongs for that. But meanwhile, if you take your time and go to the back for the meat, everything's small. You have to work for that because it's more expensive. It's more value, right? Like I said, this is kind of like you're courting this buffet. You know, all the easy stuff, they're going to throw it at you. The big stuff, whatever else. It's like you can imagine in dating. Whatever's easier is thrown at you. Just, hey, because everybody wants this. But meanwhile, take your time and court the right way. Be patient. Don't be hungry. Don't be too thirsty. Take your damn time and use some wisdom. You want to approach a buffet like you're courting it, to be honest with you. Study this. This is all a setup. Just approach it as a skeptic. How are they trying to get me? If you want to gain money, which is muscle, money, muscle, whatever, it takes both to get one to get the other sometimes. So, and that's the thing though. So the third in the line, well, here's the thing though. Remember we talked about the prime real estate? The area you hit first when your hunger is at its peak is never where the steak's at. It's never where the steak's at. All this stuff is in the back. They're not putting this stuff in the front. It's in the back. And you know what? It's designed a certain way, and we're going to go into this, how you can cost and budget as well too while you're in there. I'm not talking about coupon cutting or any of that stuff. So first third of the line is almost exclusively what economics call high margin carbs. Massive trays of fried rice, thick cut potato wedges, dinner rolls, and heavy pasta. These items are incredibly cheap to produce, but are dense. They occupy significant volume in your stomach. The restaurant is counting on a cognitive bias. Automatically, you're going to get fat as hell eating all this. Fat, and you're going to get filled up quick. You're not going to get your third plate, second plate. They're getting your money's worth. Their money's worth. They're getting their money's worth no matter what. So with an empty plate, your brain wants to secure food now, so you load up. By the time you reach the expensive proteins deliberately placed at the very back, 70% of your plate is already committed to starches. We're talking about carbs, rice, potatoes, egg rolls. Matter of fact, egg rolls, whenever you go to a buffet, have a scant amount of protein. Maybe it's just a shrivel. It's mostly lettuce. They're ripping you off. It's mostly lettuce. They're not going to put like a lot of meat in egg rolls because it's filler. That's where they also get you at too. You're not going to build all these gains and get lean at a buffet with egg rolls. It's just filler. Skip that. Don't eat that crap. Don't eat the donuts at a buffet. Matter of fact, don't eat the pizza. Matter of fact, when you go there with your family, they're banking on the fact that you're bringing your family with you. And it's not just you, the bachelor, that is smart and is going to go straight to the steaks and the lobster and all this other stuff. They're banking on the fact that your wife's going to come in and say, oh, I like the pasta. And your kids, of course, your kids are going to grab the pizza. When there's Pizza Hut, Domino's, everywhere else, but you're going to get pizza at a buffet that's really cheap. This pizza is so cheap, it's not as good as any of the other pizza. That's a trick. It's a ploy. It's a cheap, cost-effective way for them to save money. And you can't put on quality muscle eating that crap. Your wife, most women that I know love pasta. They love carbs. They're going to do that. That's where they're making the money at. They're not making money off of you, dude. They're not doing that, bro, because they're like, oh, men love steak. Most men love steak. A lot of women love pasta. Kids love like junk food. That's where we're getting the money at. As long as we're taking the sacrifice with Marte, his wife's going to eat the pasta. You see how that works? They're banking on the fact that, hey, bring your whole family, because only one of them is really going to eat their money's worth. Everybody else is going to make our money back. That's the way that works. So the items are incredibly cheap to produce, and they're dense. They occupy significant volume in your stomach. With an empty plate, your brain wants to secure food now, but you load up. By the time you reach the expensive proteins deliberately placed at the back, like I was saying, 70% of your plate's already committed to starch. You physically don't have the room for $10 worth of beef. $10 worth of beef. They haven't just fed you, they managed your cargo space. That's really what they did, and you can't bodybuild that way. There's no way you could do this. Even if you want bodybuilding, they're getting your money. This is what they're doing. All right, I haven't even checked the comments. I'm here just going off right now. So what is this? Marte, I go for the rice and oh, they're getting your money. Because you're going to pay like $25 for rice? That's crazy. That's crazy. All right. Hey, what's up, Cool Vic? Good to see you in the chat. We're about to go in on saving all kinds of money and ripping out taking all the money from these buffets. Agreed. My teenagers all love king crab legs. Oh, get them. Get them. Damn, I never thought about that, but it's true. Yes, we are going to go in on how to get money from these damn casinos. Dave, I might have to, you know what? I'm not timing you out because actually we're talking about food. But damn, those emojis look delicious. How dare you tempt the black, fatigue in me is about to come out right now. Or I'm about to make you fatigued with the black in me. It's about to come out. This guy right here, you always get, I do too. Dude, I don't care. You'll get, any other time you'll get timed out for this, but because you're tempting with all this good food with watermelon, fried chicken, and damn it, actually gave me hungry right now. So they haven't just fed you; they manage your cargo space, but the manipulation gets more granular, and we're going to go in on this. So, have you ever noticed that the tongs are different sizes? Remember I was talking about this? Go to the salad bar or the potato station, and the spoons are massive, encouraging huge scoops. How come the tongs aren't, bigger with the meat and steak and crab legs? How come they're always small? There's a purpose behind this. But when you go to get the shaved beef or the specialized shrimp, the tongs suddenly shrink. You notice that? These restaurants are out to get your budget and get your money. So they become small, awkward, inefficient almost, hard to handle when it comes to this. As a bodybuilder, this pissed me off a lot because I was about my food. This pissed me off so much. This is friction design. It really is. It forces you to work harder for the expensive calories. And then to get a decent portion, you have to stand there and scoop 6 or 7 times. This triggers social anxiety. So picture this. You're going to get some rice from the buffet, and all you got to do is scoop twice, and you're like, oh, okay, I'm not holding up the line. I'm just, scooping. But to get the meat, to wait for them to carve this, you're holding up the line. That's like a big ticket. People are, is he going to be done? How much meat does he want? There's a line behind you, and everything else is smaller there. That's designed like that for a reason. It's designed like that for a reason. It really is. Especially the seafood at the back and the steak, the big ticket items, they set you up for a reason to get your money. And if you're a bodybuilder or somebody else that wants to change your physique, those are the foods, the primary foods that are going to help you lose weight or put on muscle, all this stuff, especially if you're like doing a carnivore diet, paleo diet, things like that. So to get a decent portion, you have to stand there. Scoop 7 times. This triggers social anxiety with a line behind you. Like I was saying, you're statistically likely to take 2 small scoops and then move rather than appear greedy. That's by design. They set this up on purpose in buffets. The tiny tong saves the restaurant thousands of dollars a year. Think about it, with the meat and then the smaller tongs, just because of the size of the tongs, it saves them thousands of dollars. They don't care about the rice. Carbs are cheap and ineffective. So we'll talk about that. And speaking of social pressure, let's talk about the gatekeeper. All the buffets have a gatekeeper. There's a person carving the meat. And you feel like you have to wait and you're inconveniencing him. That's by design. They have a person put there to create social anxiety, to be like, oh, damn, I got to ask this person for me. Notice how there's no gatekeeper over the rice, the potatoes, or anything else like this. That's by design. That is specifically by design. And I'm telling you, if you're the person that wants to go get steak and seafood and shrimp, that's a massive W. I'm happy. You know how happy I am? This is how happy I am.
W's in the chat for me.
Yes, W's in the chat for me. That's how happy I am. When I see steak and I go and there's no line, oh man, that's like, when you're in class and you get the answer to a test and you can raise your hand confidently, you're like, pick me. That's the same feeling that I have when I see a crisp $100 bill on the floor. I'm like, ooh, yes, me. But when there's a long ass line, how they set it up to where they can create social anxiety and have a gatekeeper behind carved meat, that's supposed to reduce the loss of funds. That's what buffets do, and that's how they get you. I'm just spitting the fact. How am I wrong? I'm just spitting the facts. That's what they do. The most expensive items like prime rib are almost never self-serve. You ever notice that? There's an employee standing there with a knife. You see how this is? You're less likely to approach people with knives and sharp utensils. This is to create social anxiety so that way you're not holding up the line, inconveniencing a person with a weapon in their hand. Yes, I know it sounds extreme, but it's by design so that way they can save money. Because the restaurants know when you walk up to that steak, when you walk up to the shrimp, most likely the person's got a sharp item in their hand, and people are less likely to approach the expensive meats, shrimp, seafood when they're inconveniencing a person with a sharp weapon in their hand. And notice how everything else is safer. The rice, the pasta. There's nobody with a weapon. Like, just think about it like that. All this is psychology. You don't think these buffets did their research before they did that? I noticed this as a bodybuilder going there and trying to eat. Still would. I don't give a damn. I will inconvenience the shit out of that person with a steak knife. Like, I don't care. So this person is not there to serve you. They're not there to serve you. They're there to regulate you. That is why that is a big ticket item. There's going to be a line behind you. Now you feel like you're inconveniencing a person with a weapon and you're inconveniencing the line behind you. All this is designed to regulate. That's what it's designed to do. First, they control the portion size. They're not going to let you carve this steak by yourself. They're going to regulate the portion size. You might take a 12-ounce slab. The carver's trained to give you a standardized, thin 3-ounce slice. They're designed to do that, right? Asking for more right there is socially uncomfortable. You got to go, oh, he remembers you. Your third time, that's uncomfortable. All this is by design to save the restaurant thousands of dollars a year. Thousands of dollars a year. Some of the buffets here want to charge extra if you want steak. Yeah, that's crazy. That is crazy. And that's literally what they do. They want to save money. They want to save all the money, as much money as possible, man. This is just crazy. I'm just here to help you out so you can save more money at the buffet. You want to save more money and leave with more money by getting your money's worth at the buffet. You don't want to go and get ripped off, man. I'm just here to save you money. That's the only reason I'm here, man. And if you're interested in bodybuilding, you guys can hit me up. I'll give you guys some diet tips, tricks, things like that. But these are the tips I'm giving you when approaching a buffet on how to not get got by a buffet, as they say. How to not get robbed. Like I said, the person's not there to serve you. They're there to regulate you. They control the portion sizes, everything else. And just remember your last time going to a buffet, are you regulated with the potatoes? Are you regulated with the rice? Are you regulated with the pasta? That's not regulated. The steaks, regulated. Shrimps, regulated. Crab legs, regulated. There's a person by there with, their tongs and a knife. So all this is designed to make you uncomfortable getting the big ticket items. Asking for more is going to make you comfortable. Second, the carver acts as a speed bump. That's what they do. So you just can't run through, get it, and get it again and again. By creating a bottleneck at the most expensive station, the restaurant slows this entire line down. It does. So as a bodybuilder, I approach it, I'm like, damn, man, I got to wait again. It makes you think twice if you want to get in line and inconvenience the whole line again. Thus saving the restaurant more money. And you're not getting your dollar's worth because now you feel like you're inconveniencing. Even though you paid $25, you got. They're getting you. So by creating a bottleneck at the most expensive station, the restaurant slows the entire line down. This is crucial because of biology, and I'll tell you why. It takes about 20 minutes for your stomach to send the hormone leptin into your brain telling you that you're satisfied. So they're going to make you wait, and then you're going to become satiated. They make you purposely wait. And you're like, oh, let me just get some cake. Let me get some more rice. Cool, get the cheap stuff. Because we already got our money off of here. So I'm going to tell you what I do when I go to these places, but I'm going to tell you how they get you first. So the buffet's goal is to delay your consumption of high value items until that 20-minute timer runs out. All of us have a biological timer of 20 minutes. Left in that signal to our brain that says, hey, we're satiated and we're full. 20 minutes. They're making you wait in line. They're burning the clock on your appetite. That's what they're doing. That's how they get you. So the next time you step up to your plate ready for a bottle, remember, you're not just in a restaurant. You're on a meticulously designed game board. You ever think about it like that? And you're on a meticulously curated date trying to court this buffet. Don't just get there and run through it. Be a DJ and grab the cake, grabbing the ice cream, all that stuff. The restaurant wants you to do that because they want to get you for your money. Don't turn the restaurant into a 304. Turn the restaurant into a wife that benefits you by taking your time, being patient, courting, using wisdom with approach and caution, and then saying, okay, this is by design to ward off anything that is designed to take the most value. Think about it. This is how it's designed. And I know I'm conflating dating and a buffet, maybe weird to some of you, but think about this. Everything is designed as a protective mechanism from loss. Women want to keep their chastity, right? Crazy. This is something that all women should do. They should make it harder for you to get the value. But women these days, a lot of women want to be 304s. They don't want to retain their value. The chastity, gone. Everybody gets dessert. There's nothing special about that. Women out there, make it harder for these men to take your value. Make them, okay, this sounds crazy. I am giving kind of an ought claim for this. Your chastity is extremely valuable. It's extremely valuable. Abstinence is extremely important. Make sure that these men are vetted. Make them court you. Take your time. And men, take your time with these women. Take your absolute time when you go to the buffet. Because the men that don't take their time when they go to a buffet, they get ripped off. Because they just want the dessert. They just want the goodies. That's it. And they leave and the restaurant made their pay. Men get robbed. And that's what happens. But it's almost like, these red pill men that say you have to understand female nature. Understand buffet nature. That's what I'm telling you. Understand buffet nature and how they get you. Understand this. Because men, you deserve value. So when you go to the buffet, skip all the carbs, skip all that stuff. If you want to stay lean and mean and look like the guys from Predator, go to the steak. I don't care if you got inconvenience anybody. Do the work, men. do the damn work. You have to do that, man. Yes, patience is a virtue. Be patient. Get the steak. Don't let the restaurant take your money. Use the restaurant system, the buffet system. So, gentlemen, don't let these women take advantage of your pocketbook. Understand the structure and how it's designed. Be wise. Develop a good relationship to where you're not robbed. Therefore, you don't leave feeling like you got ripped off and you're complaining because you didn't get your bang for your buck. If you're with a wife and you didn't vet her correctly, you're going to lose half your house and everything else. Make sure that the foundation you observe is approached with wisdom. Try to do this, especially with the buffet. You want to do this with women anyways. Approach this. Me, I look at this the same way. If she's Orthodox Christian, that's my flavor of the month. Orthodox Christian, and this is the flavor of my rest of my life that I would choose. Now, because a woman can be Orthodox Christian or Christian, whatever that is, there's going to be a lot that you're going to feel like you're inconveniencing them because you say no to a woman, which nowadays saying no to a woman is like assault or SA. You say no, it's like, oh God, especially if she's really beautiful, probably hasn't been told much. Say no, man. Put your foot down, say no. I don't want the dessert. No, I'm not getting that. I know what I'm worth. I'm going to wait in line and inconvenience, do whatever I got to do because there's a purpose. I'm approaching this buffet with purpose and integrity, passion, discipline. The steak is where the money's at. The steak is where the value's at. I paid $25 damn. You're not getting me for this dollar. Think about it like this. Yes, I'm conflating two weird things. That's just crazy. And then Ken says, who goes to buffet to eat salad anyways? Weird. Yeah, exactly. That's how they get you because buffets will charge you $25. They'll do that. And you know what? AB says, problem is a lot of lonely simps forget about common sense once they finally get a woman and all rational thought goes out the window. The hormone rush overwhelms them. Yes. Remember your ghrelin response, that hunger that you have? We can equate that to the lust. And matter of fact, let me put AB's comment up there right now. If you go up to a buffet and you just head to the pasta and carbs and then the last thing you think about is meat, you're a simp. You're a food simp. Because you're giving away all your value. It's not an equal exchange. You pay 25 damn bucks. And the restaurant's hoping that you get the cheap stuff. They are. Sometimes you have to discipline yourself, work for something. And if you wait, patience is a virtue. and there's more value in the end, like waiting in line because the carver's there. He's meant to regulate, not serve you at all. And you're going to wait. You want to get your value. But men, be patient. Be extremely patient at the buffet. Be the same patient person with your woman when you court, date. Take your time, man. Get to know what you're walking into. Look at the layout, right? You want to see the layout and understand that approach will always determine response. So let's look at that. So also, remember what I said, you're on a meticulously designed game board? The house has set rules. They manage your plate. They manage your tools. They even hack your biology, as I've indicated before anyways. You may have paid your 25 bucks, but the real price is playing the game where the house always has the edge. Men, I'm not an expert on relationships, I'll tell you right now. So you guys can take it or leave it. I'm just talking about food, but there's a relational aspect of this when it comes to patience and approaching with wisdom any situation that you get into. There really is, right? So, like I said, you paid the 25 bucks and you have your entrance fee, whatever that is. This could be your time that you're spending with a woman that you'll never get back. This could be money, which is also time. Just understand what you're walking into. Look at the layout. Does she have a father in her life? Look at the value that you're walking into. It's good. If she had a strong father in her life, that's a green flag, right? So don't look at the carver of the meat as like a red flag. That's meant to test you, your patience. That's meant to test your integrity at the table. Just to make sure, it's also meant to ward you off the people and shove people to the dessert because you feel like you don't want to inconvenience the carver. Like I said, they're not meant to serve you. They're meant to regulate the portion size. So moving on from this, there's a lot that we're going to talk about. So have you ever noticed that you get incredibly thirsty about 20 minutes into a buffet meal? This is how they get you again too. That's not an accident. It's a strategy called biological pricing. So the food is loaded with sodium and sugar. There's a reason why it's loaded with sodium and sugar. It's to make you thirsty. And here's the thing though. It's not just for taste, but to drive you towards the most single profitable item in the building, the soft drink. Now, I usually like soft drinks, but I've learned that the reason why they're just eager to give you soft drinks the whole time and salt the food up so you can be thirsty, so that way the carbonation can take up real estate. It's going to limit your portion size. You see how dirty this trick is? This is what they do. This is, to be honest with you. So as a bodybuilder in off season, to eat more food and get more bang for my buck, I stay away from the soda. I might sip at the end, but I stay away from it, man. That's literally what I did. That $4 soda that and I had to add up these costs too, to just try to figure out how much you're getting you for. The $4 soda cost the restaurant under 20 cents for the syrup, water, and cup. Oh, you're getting got. You're totally getting got. That's a markup of over 1,500%. A markup of 1,500%. But that soda is doing double duty. It's also a stomach blocker. A stomach blocker. Avoid the soda. All right, I'm about to say something. Don't read too much into it, but you ever go out and you see this beautiful woman? Maybe she's a base homeschooled mom or Christian strong woman. This could be anybody, right? The soda is the fat woman that, they were like, oh, well, we feel bad. Let's bring Nancy out, and, the token big girl she's going to block everything. She's going to block. She's just the linebacker. She's there to block. That's what the soda is. The soda's the fat girl. The soda's the fat girl. So stay away from the soda because that soda is going to block your portions. It's going to take up real estate just like that fat girl is. That fat girl doesn't want to see nobody happy, nobody married. She was, oh, I can't have nobody. You can't have nobody. That's just how it is. No, she's going home with me, not you. It's this cocktail as old as time. Don't take the soda. We got so buffet. Don't do this. That soda is only there to take up real estate with carbonation and everything else. The restaurant hopes that you get the soda, the blocker, aka the blocker, the big linebacker girl that just got brought up when you're trying to court the buffet. That's literally what's happening right there. So, all right, let's get into this. But that soda is doing double duty. The carbonation expands your stomach, creating a physical barrier. A customer drinking 2 large Cokes is physically incapable of eating as somebody drinking water. Really is. It really is. I used to bounce at clubs a lot. This is what I did with law enforcement too. I bounced at clubs. I did like side work. And I noticed that there's like these psychological things that you could do. Especially when it comes, like I wasn't hitting on women at the club. I'll be honest with you. I was celibate for a long ass time during that time. So I didn't want to like crap right where I made money at, you know. So when I worked at the clubs, like doing the front or working security inside or whatever, we had like these little earpieces and stuff. And there was like this flower girl that walked around and sold flowers and stuff. It depends on which club you go to. Like I used to work at I hated working black clubs because when they played hip hop music, there was guaranteed to be a fight. And I was like, damn, man. It's going to be knuckles and elbows tonight. And I'm going to have to drag somebody and heave them out the front door or whatever, right? And you'll notice these groups. Remember I talked about the soda being the fat girl at the buffet? They bring her, and I was like really interested in like approach, response, human psychology when it came to this stuff. I got a rose, and I tried this twice. I didn't use it. I didn't like get nobody's number, but I just kind of just because I was curious. I got like a rose, and I gave it to the fat one. I said, here, you know, hopefully you're having a good night. I love your shoes. When I've talked about anything but her weight, because I wanted to be honest. Of course, I'm not going to say, you look great tonight. No, she didn't. But I made sure to do this in front of her girls. And I was like, your shoes look great, whatever this is. And I like maintained my professionalism, didn't talk about anything physique related with her body and stuff. I didn't want her to think I was hitting on her. But I gave a nice gesture. You know what happened? This is like dead on 2 times in a row that this happened. As soon as I did this, her friends, like I ignored her friends. I don't care how beautiful they are or whatever. And I just gave the fat one attention, gave her a rose. And I said, here you go. And I, you know, told my friend, hey, I'm going to try something to see how they'll respond to this. And I did that. The woman who never gets attention, the fat girl, gave her a rose. And the women in the back were like, oh my God, who was that? What did he tell you? Because she never gets approached. What? He must have said something nice. What did he say? What did he say? Did he ask you for your number? No, he just told me that I had really nice shoes and this and that. Seemed like a really nice guy. Guess what happened? I was leaving the club and I was like throwing numbers out of my pocket. Shit, you know, this is crazy. But anyways, back to this. So it's just funny because I have a lot of experience, but just out there doing like law enforcement, security, stuff like that. Just human nature is very funny like that. What's crazy is I had like the most opportunity to be a D-Gen out there, and I wasn't a D-Gen when it came to this. I wasn't sleeping around, I wasn't doing any of this stuff. And I had like most opportunity to do things that I didn't do any of that stuff. So I had the most discipline, but I mean, think about that. You want to approach a buffet with a lot of discipline, patience, and just understand how they run things there at the buffet and be wise and make choices. You want to be able to leave and then come home with the maximum amount of money and value in your pocket. But in a sense, that's what I'm saying. But just understand, though, is that there's a different way that they run things to where the buffet's not going to be losing money, especially if you enter in those establishments. So here's the thing, though. The restaurant's essentially selling you a liquid that creates a force field against their own inventory. That's what soda does. So when you go to a restaurant, like let's say if you're on a diet and you want to lose weight, still stay away from diet soda because the carbonation is still going to be like the fat woman. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be like the fat girl at the club, the fat girl out there. Stay away from that. And if you are going to do that, wait till the end. Wait till the end to be like, all right, this is my last plate. Let me sip on this at the end. That's about it, man. So what I'm just saying in a nutshell is, man, just have discipline, man, when you go there. And understand that this is set up to rob you and take your money at the buffet. That's really what it's meant to do, really. Diet pop, and it's funny, some people call it soda, some people call it pop. Yeah. The one that cock block you from the pretty shy Ken is crazy. Yeah, basically. That's really what that is, bro. On his face says, yeah, I like Pepsi. Granted, she might be fat, but she got to go up, bro. No. Crazy. People, you guys are killing me. Real World Radio says our table has a designated soda drinker. LOL, he takes one for the team. He has crazy. Independent, I understand the struggle. So okay. So I have some guys in here that understand. They understand like the whole setup, especially the conflation with the two that I'm making. So the restaurant's essentially selling you this liquid that builds the force field, like the fat girl, right? That's like, oh, she's going home with me. She doesn't want to talk to you. You know the trope about the girl that's like, she doesn't want to talk to you. What? Oh, you're speaking up for this girl that I want to get her number from? Like, oh, we've all seen that before. Don't lie to me. You've seen this. The girl you want to talk to, her friend's like basically blocking her number. She doesn't want to talk to you anyways. Ugh, loser. And the girl looks like she's helpless. She's like, you look at her face and she's like, but I do want to talk to you. But my friend just, I gotta side with my friend. I don't want to betray her. The big girl, linebacker. That situation sucks. Situation sucks. Anyways, but you know what? I was celibate during the whole time anyways. This is whatever. It's just funny. I just understood all this. And what's crazy is though, when I was out there doing that job and doing security, after I did like a 12-hour shift of law enforcement or whatever, when I did my when I worked my shift and then got off my shift and put up my duty belt, everything else, and my gun, my sidearm weapon, all that stuff. Like, as soon as I went there, I got to see human nature in a different aspect. Like, that was also another reason why I was abstinent, because I was too busy. I was too tired, man. And I didn't want to get ripped off. And I saw how you could lose money out there, just like you saw in the buffet in these examples I give you. Making impulsive decisions with women and making impulsive decisions with food, you're going to lose money. These restaurants are designed to take your money. And if you want to be a simp and just go for the dessert and, you know, obfuscate away from your goals and all this stuff like that, yeah, more power to you. You're just going to hate yourself and looking in the mirror. The same way that this guy pays for OnlyFans, pays $5, and he still goes home to a cold bed. If you go to a buffet, you go to a buffet and you just eat all the dessert and maybe got the steak one time, yeah, you leave and then you're hungry the next hour. You're more hungry initially and you're more broke than you first came. See how that works? Like, it's almost the same thing. Like, you want to have wisdom when you approach a buffet. Approach the buffet like you're courting it. Funny notion for me to say that, but it's true. Use a lot of wisdom. So now let's move on to the kitchen. This is the kitchen part of this. Like, you're in the relationship, you're courting. She's like, okay, you can come over, right? You still need to take your time. Be a good Christian man if you are. Wait till you get married, all that stuff, right? This is where the buffet model becomes truly brilliant, through the chain of repurposing. Now, a lot of people don't understand this, but restaurants lose a lot of money. They actually do. I don't know if any of you guys, I never worked for a restaurant, but Jack in the Box was like the first restaurant I worked for and the only, and I did telemarketing. I had 2 jobs. My first job was 2 jobs. I did telemarketing and Jack in the Box. At Jack in the Box, we threw away a lot of food. A lot of food went to waste. And I was pissed because we couldn't even eat it. I was like, you're starving people. This is my point that I'm getting to. So this is where the buffet model becomes a truly brilliant model through the chain of repurposing. In a normal restaurant, waste is a massive cost. Like I was talking about Jack in the Box and these other restaurants. If no one orders the soup, it's thrown out. At a buffet, the chef dictates the menu. So that expensive roast chicken from the lunch rush that wasn't eaten, it doesn't see a trash can. It gets pulled from the bone, chopped up, and it reappears as the protein in the chicken noodle soup or the enchiladas at dinner. Now, remember what I talked about? Like, you want to stay in shape, you want to stay lean. All that protein, they never waste. They don't want to lose money because it's a buffet. They're already probably going to lose some money if people come in and just get like steaks and stuff like that. They're not expecting that. So they already want to get you from the jump. Remember how they put the desserts and carbs at the beginning? They wait and put the steaks and everything else at the back. That's how you know they're covert feminists, presenting as like, oh, this is what you really want, but it's like you don't see the value from jump. But also at the same time, it's like, try to look at it like this. It's almost like the buffets are preserving their chastity. All the value you have to work for. You have to wait in line. You have to wait for the carver, all this other stuff. It's actually quite the opposite. So all of this stuff like the chicken, it doesn't ever see a trash can. None of this hits the dump. They're repurposing all that food and saving even more money. They already got you from the carbs and the dessert at the beginning. Remember how I talked about the structuring of this? The leftover vegetables from the salad bar are roasted and blended into tomorrow's pasta sauce. They achieve nearly 100% yield on ingredients by disguising leftovers as new dishes. That's what they're doing. I'm also giving you like some hidden insight on this as well too. I had a friend that worked for a buffet, and he was telling me a lot of the stuff. But also I had to do some research for this too. So they achieve nearly 100% yield. So on these ingredients, by disguising leftovers as new dishes, it lowers their food costs from a typical 40% down to under 30. They also save a fortune on ugly produce. The crooked carrots, the weirdly shaped tomatoes that grocery stores won't buy since they're chopping and boiling everything away, they get these ingredients at a massive discount. Then there's the labor. Usually restaurants, highest cost. At a sit-down place, you have to host a waiter, food runners, bussers. They don't have any of this stuff. At a buffet, you are the waiter. You're the waiter at a buffet. They most like probably don't even have a host sometimes at some of these places. So they're already saving money. You ever go to a grocery store and we had cashiers? We're slowly starting to weed those out. Now we have self-checkout lines. You're now the cashier. So restaurants are slowly starting to back down and save on cost when it comes to all this stuff. That's what they're doing. They're now making you the employee of the restaurant. Not only are you the waiter, you're the server and the host at a buffet. Now, when you go to a grocery store, you're no longer seeing a cashier because now you are the cashier. And you're the bagger. You have to bag your own stuff. They're saving a lot of money because that's one less employee that they have to hire, manage cost out to. That's less loss. All this stuff. So at a buffet, you're the waiter, the food runner. You're the logistics team by outsourcing the work to you. That's what they're doing. One server can cover 8 tables. Their only job being to refill those profitable drinks and clear dirty plates. That's the only job. And remember, the soda's the fat girl. Oh, they're going to go ahead and fill you up because they want to block the food, especially the expensive steaks, the crab legs and everything else, and the expensive shrimp in the back, the specialty items, the high-ticket items. That's what they want to do. So the restaurant, which is like these buffets, the buffets run on skeleton crews. I don't know if you ever noticed this, but they have a skeleton crew there. Maybe there's like one host. That's it. You can serve yourself. They're saving so much cost doing this. And mind you, they're already getting your money, carbs, everything at the front, expensive big ticket items in the back. So here's the thing though. And the skeleton crews at the front of the house, using the money to save on wages to subsidize the food. But what about the elephant in the room? This is where we're getting to like people like me, and maybe even people like you, the bodybuilders, the people that want to lose weight. Because you could still lose weight and eat a lot of steak. Where's the fat that you're going to put on from the steak? Where's your body going to store that from? Those are good fats. I like those fats. Saturated fats are good, especially when it comes from steaks, red meat, all this. Help reduce the endocrine system. Testosterone levels are heightened, still up. You're supporting your system. This is all healthy. So what about this? The elephant in the room is the super eater. People like me that are wise. What about me, Marte? What about people like you? So the guy who knows all these tricks, they already know people like me exist. The super eater, drinks only water, skips the rice, eats like 5 pounds of crab legs, maybe like 10 pounds of steak, maybe a couple of veggies. They're like, crap, Marte's coming. We got to kill a whole cow. So that happens. I'm already about to get on stage and compete again at some point later on this year. I'm going to come up and they're going to be like, damn, bodybuilder. This is going to be crazy. Meanwhile, I'm eating like 10 pounds of steak, still got a 6-pack, serratus, abs, all that stuff. So here's the thing though. Surely the restaurant loses money on guys like me. They already know that. Yes, absolutely. If every customer were me, the buffet would go bankrupt by Tuesday. That's what would inevitably happen. And if you take this advice and you don't become a simp at the buffet and you know how to court a buffet, See where I'm getting at? Full circle here. As long as you're not a simp, you can get your money's worth. But like, let's say everybody thought like me and was like, nope, I'm getting my value. And your whole family came in and did the same thing. Buffets would go out of business, bro. Let's be honest, they would definitely go out of business. So they would not only go bankrupt by Tuesday, this is where the law of large numbers saves the businesses. The buffet model works exactly like the insurance business, and I'll tell you how. For every super eater who costs them money, people like me, there's a family of 4 that balances the scale. The grandmother who eats the small salad. Remember the gentleman in the chat was saying, who goes to buffets to eat salad? Somebody's grandma does. That's what's going to happen. The 2 toddlers who eat 3 chicken nuggets and a bowl of Jell-O, the restaurant's not losing money off of them. They're not losing money off of them. The light eaters subsidize the heavy eaters. That's what's happening the whole time, because they're getting money off of the light eaters. The restaurant doesn't look for profit per person. They look at profit per ship. So if you want to, and I'm going to tell you how to build muscle at the buffet as well too, alongside this. You don't want to just load up on carbs and all this other stuff and become an absolute dummy glutton, especially not a restaurant simp. That's going to be the new word for the day. You don't want to do that. Wickmoto says, someday I'm going to fabricate a rotisserie that will hold at least a half a stick. Damn, that sounds good. Now you're thinking. That's what the hell I'm talking about. I've actually thought about buying a cow. It's like $500. They'll package it for you. The butcher will do all the stuff. But anyways, that's like in the works right now. So they'll advertise all you can eat crab legs for $40 because they know that they'll lose money on the crab, but they'll also know that if you come for the crab, you're bringing your whole family. Remember when I talked about how the kids eat, how your wife's probably going to eat, how your grandmother's going to eat, all this stuff? Your spouse might hate seafood and eats the cheap pasta. The kids eat pizza, and the profit from the family easily recovers the loss from guys like me or guys like you. If you want to put on some muscle, it takes a lot of protein, takes a lot of food. You're gonna put a dent in their budget. Oh, nope. Your family's mitigating the cost for them. That's what's happening. So is the buffet a scam? Is it really a scam? Not really. It's not a scam. Not a scam at all. It's a transaction of values. So this is where the red pill people can come in and just say, well, are women scamming men out of money? Is marriage a scam? No, marriage is not a scam. It isn't a scam. It's weaponized. But it's a covenant, and some people call it an institution, but it's a covenant for sure. It's used to enrich your life. If you approach this buffet and you see the value, you see how it's set up. It's set up so that way you can work for this value, meaning you have to wait for the carver to carve up the food, and you're going to feel like you're inconveniencing and all this other stuff. It takes discipline. But just like you're courting somebody, you have to have the same mindset. The same mindset. Take your time. Say, you know what? There's the value that I came for. I paid $25 and I showed up to the big dance. This is one big monopoly board. Let me make the right moves so that way I don't feel like I'm robbed in this relationship. Take your damn time. Realize that this is set up for you to fail automatically. So if you go to buffets and you're getting fat as hell, you're not patient, you're not disciplined, you're making the wrong decisions and all this. Just like if you're in a relationship and you feel like you're not satisfied because nobody's fulfilling their duties, you don't know how to say no, you don't know how to put your foot down, you don't know how to establish leadership roles, all this other stuff. Maybe you don't have Christ in the middle of your relationship, all that. So it's extremely important. It's extremely important to know how this is set up for you to fail. World Radio says buffet is free exchange. Just better know the pitfalls. Yes, just like a relationship. Just like how relationships work. Like any relationship, right? You have to look at this and just realize that, okay, because broke people, absolute broke people aren't going to pay like $25. Especially if you're really broke and you're in college and you're eating ramen noodles, you're not showing up to a buffet. Maybe if you scrounge. Like, that's the value that you bring to the buffet. Like, make sure that you're a man of value when you approach and court a buffet. So you're trading service and quality for volume and variety. For the restaurant, it's a game of calculated risk. They're betting that their cheap carbs, small plates, salty food, and labor savings will always outweigh your physical capability to eat protein. Remember when I was saying I get kicked out of a restaurant after 18 plates of steak and veggies? They basically asked me to leave. Well, I was definitely getting my value. But they said, hey, we switched over from the lunch to dinner menu, something like that. And they said, you have to pay again. And I was like, I guarantee you, if I did pay again, that would have been $50. And then I still would have put a dent in their whole... But I guarantee you, people that were coming in, the families were making value by eating cheap carbs and all that stuff for the restaurant. So restaurant was making up for all that stuff. But so that's like the one time I could say I got kicked out of a restaurant, but you could argue whether or not I got kicked out or not, or maybe that is true that they changed their time. So they're betting, and this is the thing though, they're betting that their cheap carbs, the small plate, salty food, and labor settings will always outweigh this. So the next time you sit down with that mountain of food, feeling like you beat in the house, take a look at your plate. If you got a pile of potatoes, a giant soda, and you're feeling full after round one, don't worry about the owner. The owner's going to sleep just fine. It's just going to be honest with you. The owner's going to sleep just fine. They don't care. The owner made their money. That's what happened. So approach this with a lot of wisdom and patience. And I know we're talking about buffets here, but to me, people go out to restaurants. It takes a lot of discipline, sacrifice, and I would say refraining from your passions to stay on a disciplined diet. So hopefully some of the stuff with the buffet was kind of relatable, but I wanted to mention this because I get so many questions about like, oh, how much, you probably eat a lot of food. How do we eat a lot of food? I could just go to a buffet and knock that out. Well, hold on. That's how you get got, because you don't understand that this layout in this casino is set for you to fail. It literally is a casino, because if you go, there are these carbs that they're going to be making money off of that are cheap. The rice is cheap. The pasta is going to be cheap. They're going to be making a lot of money off of that. And everything in the back, like the meat, that's where they're making money, is in the front. They're making money in the front. They're losing money with this. This is what they're losing money with. But they want to make it hard for you to get value. So they're going to put a carver there. You're going to feel like you're inconveniencing him. That's purposely set up. He's the gatekeeper of meat. No homo. That's really what he is. The gatekeeper of meat. So I want to feel like I'm going to a restaurant and getting my value. So when you go to a restaurant, when you go to a buffet, be wise about what you're doing. Because when I go, I make these smart choices. I don't want to be fat because I eat a lot of food, especially right now. Make better choices, especially at the dinner table, and you'll feel like you're walking away with a big, massive W. You're going to be so happy.
W's in the chat for me.
Yes. You're going to be happy. So, gatekeep of meat, no Disney. Yes, exactly. So that's the thing, though. You want to feel like you're a walking W, but save money, man. Food's expensive. Food's extremely expensive. Make wiser choices when you go to buffets, man, because they're out to rob you. They're out to get you, man. These buffets are damn near, they're walking casinos. If I go and I just eat pasta, this is why I hate, like, you know those pasta and soup places that you go? I'll never eat at those places. And the reason why I don't is because they have this much meat, this many carbs. And I'm mad as a crab when I walk in those places. Mad as a crab. All I see is pasta, no meat. Why do I want to go eat there? It's why I don't like Italian food that much. Because I get this much meat, this much carbs. The restaurant's making a shit ton of money off of me. I want to get my money's worth, no matter what. But just like I said, when you're courting a woman specifically, you want to be able to bring duty, value, service, all this stuff. But you want to get it back. Understand the layout. Take your time. Refrain from delving into your own passions. Refrain from impulsive decisions when you're courting. just like you do at a buffet. Refrain from all this. Make wiser decisions. Be more charitable to yourself. You deserve this. I mean, well, you earned this, but you got to get to the point to where you deserve it through being patient, which is a virtue, and take your time. You want to do this, man. Because I don't really care who you are. All this is just a setup to fail.
Open your eyes, Clyde. Don't you see what's going on here? The buffet's rigged.
No
Clyde.
way.
They got cheap product up here at the front.
No.
And meanwhile, the big ticket items are here right at the back.
At the back. They make you work for everything, bro. Like that's literally what's going on, man. So when you're at a buffet, don't get robbed. Don't get robbed. Don't do that, man. But I just wanted to come out with like a quick stream real quick just to kind of inform people on like, because I get a lot of questions, like I was saying, on like, you must go to a buffet it must hit the spot to put on a lot of size and weight. But if you're going to go, and you guys, if you want to put on a lot of size and use the buffet method, just go get the steak. Don't fool around with the pasta. There's so many places you can go for pasta. Don't go get the pasta at an all-you-can-eat place. Go get the steak. Get the big ticket protein items. That's what's going to help you put size on. Real good size. Like it. I remember I was going to college. I saved. Like I was broke as hell in college. But when I saved, there were times when I went to the buffet and I didn't understand the layout was meant to just. I didn't understand how carbs worked or anything. I was running track because I knew I had to like carb load up. There was like this whole myth. Anyways, we can debunk that later. But yeah, I just knew that. I see food, I eat food. I paid $25 to get in here, that's it. But now that I'm wiser, now when I go to a buffet, they're scared when I show up. Or they better be when I show up. I'm getting my money's worth, man. To be honest, I'm getting all my money's worth. Not getting ripped off. I'm just trying to help you guys so you guys are more wise and approach with patience and wisdom when you go to a buffet so you don't get ripped off, man. And yeah, I did make Paige a meme here. Like this is, I had to do it because I saw the stream yesterday and I was like, oh, this is. I don't want to say it, but anyways.
W's in the chat for me.
Yeah, W's in the chat. That makes me smile. That makes me smile. I'm so glad I did that. Oh, anyways. Here we go. I need a king crab buffet. Oh, God, I know, man. So good. W. IFBB Pro Marte Realist. What did you run in track if you ran? I did the 1500 and 800. Those were the 800 is a horses race. So horses race. I was chasing the sub 5 minute mile, but 1500 is 100 meters short of a mile, to be exact. But in college, it's 1500. High school, it's 1600. But that's what I did. I also wrestled in high school too. I played all the sports, man. But I had a massive appetite. I could eat everything and not gain a pound. Maybe I should do a podcast on all the men that can't gain weight and how to do this in the most cheap, cost-effective way. So if you guys heard of, the 800 is brutal, man. You're doing two 400s. That's what that is. It's just two 400s, which is 8 100s. And you have to think about it in that fashion. 1 100, 1 100, 1 100. And you have to run them consecutively like they're each 100 meters. Like that's 8 100-meter dashes and you want to run each one like that. There's not that much pacing in college, to where it's like, oh, let this guy break the wind for me or cut the wind so that I can pass him. And you don't have much time. 800's gone already. It's already over. Like when I was running, I wanted to run so fast because my coach was Dave Barney, and he ran for Arkansas. Really good coach. So when they shot the gun, which doesn't have any real bullets and stuff, like I wanted to run so fast that by the time I got to the end, I could still smell the gun smoke. So I was a multi-pronged athlete. So Fanta Boss says, I used to eat 5 meals a day. Now I just eat 2 meals a day. Yeah, you know what's going to happen? It's going to look like stagnation. You're not going to grow. If you want to bodybuild or get to a certain point, you're not going to grow from just 2 meals a day. But 5 meals a day isn't bad if you're monitoring what you're eating. People can say, "Oh, that's a lot of food." No, it's what you eat. I guarantee if you eat steak 3 times a day, and then the other 2 meals have eggs and fish or something like that in them, something light, your body fat is going to start plummeting. So that's what's going to happen. It's going to help, especially if you're training and you're active. That's what's going to happen. Yeah, really good stuff, man. My fastest smile is 20 seconds at one. Yeah, bro. Crazy stuff, man. Independent Thinker says, I lost hella weight just by not drinking pop and eating only when I'm hungry without overstuffing. I have a schedule. I honestly have a schedule. Like I eat every 2.5, 3 hours. That's what I do. But also I have portion control. I weigh out my food like 5 ounces per meal. Something like this. Like that's what I'll do. Good stuff. Steak, chicken, and eggs. Yes. Steak, chicken, and eggs. Really good stuff, man. Those are your base. And then you want to have like cruciferous vegetables, greens, things like that. All that's going to help. Carnivore helped me cut fast. Yeah, carnivore is going to help a little bit. Paleo also can help you out too. I'm at a good weight to start muscle building. You know what? Any weight can be a good weight to start muscle building. If you're skinny, you can be at a good weight because, you know, think about, we have receptors, we have all this stuff that can be fresh. It just depends on where you're starting from. A fat person is at a good weight to start muscle building. Look at fat people. You ever notice how they have fat calves, but there's muscle there too? These calves that have to support that body weight. So just think about that. So all this stuff. I'm not active in gym and stuff. Bro, we got to get active, man. Start getting active. Find a way to motivate yourself. You got to get out there and be physically active. You don't want to be like 60 and then 70, 80, and then you fall, you break a hip because bone density isn't really there like you want it to be. You want to help increase your bone density. The bigger the muscle you're training, the bigger the signal is sent to release more testosterone throughout the body as well too. Because that's also true. Like our endocrine system, when you're training, is also supported. Like you give your body a reason to release more testosterone. Also, another reason for the testosterone decline, inactivity. You're not giving your body a reason to produce more testosterone as well too. Your body needs a reason. It's going to help out a lot, man. All this helps out. 3 times a week. Sorry. Oh, hey, you know what? 3 times. You better go to work those 3 times if you can go 3 times a week. Red Door Woman, hey, good to see you. My native grandmother used to say, stay away from anything white sugar, white flour, white lightning. That's pretty white lightning guy. That's crazy. Yeah, she was tough and she ate lightning and spit out pain. That was 50 years ago. It just depends on what that is. Like white, like I hear that, but it just depends on what it is. White rice, like jasmine rice, basmati rice, isn't going to be bad for you. The problem with white things that people eat, like let's say potatoes, rice, it's not bad for you. And I'll explain why. Let's say that I have like, I eat potatoes. That's not bad. And I'll tell you why. It's not the fact that people eat potatoes. It's people eat too much potatoes. People overeat. People overcorrect this when it comes to carbs. Do you think that when you eat a bag of chips, it says serving size 3? Are you really going to eat 3 chips? People overeat whatever the serving size is. They eat, like I'm breaking this down to like the common denominator that everybody can relate to. And cake isn't unhealthy. Pizza's not unhealthy. It's just that people overeat these things. They're not going to have a slice of cake like this. They're going to have a slice of cake like this, and then they're going to go back for half another thing. That's where it's bad, man. People don't have self-restraint. That's why I carry a scale. I had a scale with me. I bring this to work. I bring this to school because I'll be in the lunchroom and heat up food in the microwave, prep my meals, things like this. That's what I'm getting back to. All that stuff. People overeat, man. That's really what it is. So it's not really the rice that's bad. And it's like, think about it. If you eat like a quarter cup of rice with like 5 ounces of steak, 3 ounces of steak, like let's say you have that, that's not bad. You get a little bit of an insulin spike and it's gone. Mitigated by the steak. There's like this whole nutritional panel we can talk about, but I'm not going to get into that right now. Pumpkin says, I like rice, but I'm also learning to make fried rice. I just got the wok for it. Just need a stove to be able to use it. Yeah, it depends on what you're frying it in, man. Like, it just depends. So, we'll see. Me being a good example, NPC, I didn't give any advice. Well, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's just crazy, man. Well, you have to train your body to, like, lose weight. And that's through eating at the dinner table, through the plate, all this stuff, right? I'm only eating once a day at a dinner time now. Yeah, you're training your body to maintain where it's at right now. Like, you're not going to grow, you're not going to go down, but now it's just your activity level for just eating one plate. Hey, what's up, AJ? Me too. I only eat once per day. That's crazy. I can't imagine it. Well, I'm active. Trying to get back in the gym and put on some size. What do you think of RFK's new food pyramid? Well, it's more based than what we have, the normal populace have. Like, that's a step up from how the normal average person lives, like the layman. Like, let's say they're eating like you, Jay, and Wick Moto, they're only eating 1 meal a day, but that meal's like, they're trying to think, like, I'm making up for all this by loading my carbs and I'm only having a little bit of meat. Think about how testosterone is plebby in today's society. Your endocrine system, which is your hormones, testosterone production, all this, has to use this to support the testosterone production that you have. If your body doesn't have the resources to support this, guess what's going to happen? It's going to lack resources, and it's like you're not giving me a reason to produce more of this. That's why having muscle is important on your body. You have to give yourself a justification to say, well, this is why testosterone's increasing. You ever notice how testosterone plummets as people get older? It's because they're giving their body less of a reason to produce more. Through inactivity, diet, exercise, not giving their body a reasonable amount of resources to support said endocrine system to produce more testosterone, all this stuff. Yeah, all of this, man. So it's just crazy. You have to give your body resources to support said system that we have. I'm only eating carnivore once a day, but it's a lot of meat. Yeah, that's good. How about you split that up? And because think about this. Let's say you have a meal right here for breakfast, and then you have a meal for lunch, and then the meal for dinner is this microphone right here. I'll eat breakfast, lunch, and then there's dinner all the way at the end right here, right? Or let's say I have like these 3 meals, right? I'll eat breakfast, there's a blip in energy, and then the energy goes like this, and then I have to wait till dinner. There's a long blip like this, and then dinner. Guess what happens in this long blip? Am I burning fat? Nope, my body goes into, releasing more ketones. It doesn't know when the next meal's coming. Let's store some more body fat. Yeah, there's also that too. But here's how you work it. Let's say, and I'll take this off of my wrist real quick. My fist is a meal, this is a meal, and the microphone and all this is a meal. There's a blip, blip. You see how it's more straight like this? I have more meals in my day. This line is more straight. Now my energy level is up there, my fat burning capability is up there. But if I have a meal later on in the day and there's a big dip, what do you think happens in that dip? Dude, testosterone may be plummeting, lack of resources. You're producing more ketones throughout your body system, stress hormones, things like this. Like, it's just, that's why if you ever see like buffalo out in the wild, gorillas, they're grazing all day and they're like super lean and big. They're grazing that's one thing that they have in common. Their energy levels are like this because they're eating throughout the day. There's no big dips. They're not waiting for a big dip because they're like, oh, I only eat 1 meal. Dip, testosterone plummeting through the basement. Try to keep it up here. These energy levels are up. Now you have to depend on less caffeine. You're more functional. Your ability to be at the service and duty of others, there's more quality. You're more present mentally. All that's affected by your diet and exercise, man. Good stuff, man. Only 4 days before I can change my handle yet again. You're changing handle? Hey, man, I guess No clue why, but more power to you. Good stuff, man. So we actually will cut more fat quicker if we sustain our meals throughout the day rather than one big one. Yes, because now you're turning your body into a furnace. Think about this. Like the steak has, like, think about harder metabolites to break down. Your body is actually burning calories at the same time breaking it down. You're bringing calories in, but your body has to burn calories to process this. You're making your body work. You're turning it into a furnace. But your body gets cold, doesn't turn it into a furnace. You're not giving yourself any work. That's it. Now your body doesn't have a reason to lose weight. It's like we don't know when the next meal is coming. You ever see a pigeon eat? And these pigeons eat as much as they can. They're like, damn, you act like you haven't seen a crumb. Because it doesn't know when the next meal is coming. Your body will turn into a storehouse. If you don't program your body to know when to expect the next meal is coming, it's like, damn, we got to hold on to this because now we have to turn into a warehouse because we don't know when the next meal is coming because you haven't programmed your body to be on the schedule or anything like that. You're not getting these meals throughout the day, maintaining this status where you're just burning body fat. You're just snack throughout the day and be more active. But make sure that the snacks that you're eating are lean. Like, just don't, it's what you eat, not how much you're eating too. You know, like I want you to think about it like this. This is probably universal because I don't want to give diet advice because I don't know what your blood panels look like. I don't want to give you guys like a contraindication to your medical history. I don't know if your family has high blood pressure. All these things are things that I went over like as a personal trainer when I was doing all this stuff. One thing I could say it's a universal is like, if you are trying to become more active and want to lose more body fat, cut those carbs out at a certain time of night, but don't stop eating. You know, like eat lean red meat. So eye of round is super lean. Eye of round is extremely lean. It's not expensive. And then eat more green cruciferous vegetables with that, like, you know, steamed veggies and meat. Good. You're going to be satiated at night too. You're going to feel full, you know, and then when you wake up, eat some oats, eat a sweet potato, things like this, more complex carbohydrates. Like we can get into this, but like there are foods that we can look at and it's like, you can eat more food and lose body fat. You could honestly eat more food, but just look at your portions. You know, look at your portions. Use a scale, man. Use a scale, say 5 ounces Marte. If you guys want any advice or any help as far as fitness, nutrition, hit me up in the Discord. I don't know if you guys have my Discord or not, but just hit me up, man. Hit me up and I'll just give you like some general stuff that may be more universal. I'm not going to give you anything specific because that'd be irresponsible of me. I don't know what your blood type is. I don't know what your panels look like. I don't know if you have any pre-existing conditions. I don't know what your kidney enzymes look like. I don't know if you have pre-existing blood pressure, because food is medicine. If ever I'm doing a diet or a meal plan for somebody, I'm literally diagnosing them and saying, hey, I'm prescribing you this. Like, we have to look at it like that through nutrition, no matter what. Like, that's why it infuriates me when people say, try this diet, it worked for me. Like, have you ever heard somebody saying, try this medication, this worked for me? Well, you don't know what that car is like underneath their hood. You don't know if they have like a leaky oil tank, like, anything like this going on. You just want to say, I have the same body you have, and it functions the same way you do. Well, that's completely wrong. Like, we can't get prescriptions out because it worked for me. That's the most trash shit I hear from people all the time. They'll say, well, do this because it's a great way to lose weight. How do you know that? How do you know that they're insulin sensitive? How do you know that maybe they have high blood pressure? Maybe they have, maybe they're more active than you, so they have a different requirement of caloric intake than you do. Maybe they're more carb sensitive when they're insulin and their pancreas isn't working as well as yours, or things like, you don't know what's going on underneath somebody's hood. That's why you don't do cookie cutter approaches. All this stuff, man. Independent pre-diet. Yes, I'll give you a story. This is what got me back into wanting to compete again. I can't believe I'm about to say this. So, independent thinker, this is what I'm going to tell you. Don't judge me for this. It's really probably TMI when I say this, but what got me back into wanting to compete again isn't just because I missed competing. Actually, I started becoming less motivated to train. What's getting me more motivated to train is because I was working one time, and when I went to go pee, my pee smelled like apple juice. Like, we can smell our pee, whether or not we're peeing in a toilet or wherever you could smell it. I was like, does this smell like apple juice? It did. It smelled like apple juice. It smelled like sweet apple juice. Then I started noticing that my vision was slowly starting to become impaired. I was like, what the hell? Like, I'm sitting in class because I'm going to school right now. And I was like, I can't believe I can't see the board. The board's blurry. And then looking at my phone, I'm like, I had to do this whole adjustment thing. I was like, what the hell's happened to my vision? My vision was going. I had like fruity breath sometimes. And then my pee started smelling like apple juice. I was like, what's going on? I stopped training. I completely stopped training, and I lost a lot of size and stopped eating like how I did. I went to like a sedentary diet and was like, screw this. I don't care. I'll eat whatever I wanted to because I did when I was training, right? Next thing you know, blood sugar like 200, 210. Pre-diabetic. Really bad. So what did I do? I spent like 3-4 days fasting. I have a friend who's in medical school right now. He was like, bro, you should fast. So I spent 3 days drinking just electrolytes, no food. I didn't eat for 3 days, 3 to 4 days. I fasted for 3 to 4 days. And guess what happened? My pee didn't smell like apple juice anymore. My vision, the second 2 weeks after that, slowly started to correct itself. Blood sugar slowly started to normalize, and I fixed this. Fasting helps. Matter of fact, if you're Orthodox Christian, the fasting is extremely important. It's not just for health reasons. This is also to make sure that you're not ruled by your flesh it's extremely important. Hey, what's up, Miss D? Good to see you. Yeah, fasting is extremely important, especially if you're an Orthodox Christian or even non-Orthodox. You could be atheist. Fasting is good if you want to reset your body system all over again and get a jump start. So Independent says, damn, Marte, you got me worried about myself right now without giving too much information about myself. Yes. Okay, maybe you guys can hear me now. Let's see.
It was on my webcam, actually. I don't know why. That's where it was at. But make sure that you go ahead and like, let's say that you're in a position and your health is starting to deteriorate a little bit. Try to go ahead and fix this. Fast. Fasting is good. Really good. Like, try to get on top of your health and be more active. Matter of fact, to the men out there, this is the problem. This is the massive problem in America right now. The greatest disease is inactivity. Be active, man. Get out there and be active. You guys that are 80 years old and wondering why your testosterone's plummeting, it's because your bone density is starting to get weaker. Muscles are fading. Your body doesn't have a reason to produce testosterone anymore because you're starting to become a woman. So what's happening? And then age is starting to catch up to you. How about you eat some more of this? Eat some more steak. Don't be like the woman at the bar, the all-you-can-eat bar that's going to eat pastas, rice, all this stuff and get ripped off. Make some money. Save your money. So like I was saying, going back to the buffet, they don't want you to get the steak. They don't want you to get the king crab legs or any of that stuff. There's a reason why buffets are set up like the way they are, to where you can get the carbs, everything else up front, and they purposely put a carver back there. Like I said, the carver is not meant to serve you. The carver is meant to regulate the meat. Because why else would they cut the portions of meat for you? They don't do this with the rice. They want you to eat the rice because carbs are cheap. Save money. Keep your money in your pocket when you go to buffets. Keep this money in your pocket. Save your money. Because these buffets, they want to take you for your money. Like I said, going back to this, act like you're courting the buffet. You're going to marry the buffet. You want to court it. Take your time. Be patient. Patience is a virtue. Don't rush through it. Don't be a simp. Stay away from the desserts. Stay away from the pastas. If you're going to get the pasta after you get the expensive steaks, the crab legs, all that stuff. And then if you got some left over, because people do it the opposite way, they'll get the pasta, they'll get everything else, because the restaurant's banking on this. The buffet is banking on this, so that way they can save money and cut costs. They'll do that. That's what they'll do. As D says, you don't need to be eating sweets to get diabetes. It's an insulin resistance. It's inflammation in the body. That's also that too. There's various reasons. There's various things that we could say are causation. So it's not just that, but we could stave this off. Activity helps a lot. Like I said, inactivity is one of the major indicators. One of the things, your diet, your activity, and then supplementation, and also like the intensity of the activity. And then there's like a fifth component, education. Understanding like what your blood panels look like, your body, what would be a food as a contraindication, like something that's the antithesis of what you're trying to do. You put that in your body. Just understand it. Nobody has the time before you put something in your body. Like we're not all going to think like, is this thing that I'm about to eat going to help or hurt me? Nobody thinks about that. They just, it's good. Then they feel guilt afterwards. Your body releases more ketones because of stress. That's why when you feel guilty after eating something, it's in the past, man. Let it go. All that worry stuff is going to help you put on more weight. That's all it's going to do, to be honest with you. All the guilt over eating something you shouldn't eat. Enjoy it. If you're going to fuck up, enjoy it. But then just understand, like I had the same mindset whenever I ate something that I wasn't supposed to eat. I was like, screw this. I'm just going to 10 more minutes on the treadmill. I'll just make up for it later. Think about it like a bank account, That's what we'll do. Make it for a little bit later. So yeah, all this will help, man. Hopefully I give you guys some good information, so that way you guys can get a big W at the end of the day.
W's in the chat for me.
Yeah. W's in the chat. So that way I know that you guys are on track and you guys enjoy the content. So this was good. I just wanted to kind of like help you guys out a little bit to save money, because I get this all the time. How can I put on weight? What can I do to put some size on Marte? I'm eating everything, but I can't gain a single pound, Marte. What do I do? Maybe I should do that in my next podcast, because I ate everything in the house. Oh, Ms. D put up the W. Yes. She put up the W. Yes, she is. Damn. Okay, now I'm getting all mushy. All right. Anyways, damn. I kind of outed. All right, let me shut up, Marte. Marte, just shut up. All right. Damn. All right, one more time.
W's in the chat for me.
Yeah, it's like that is adorable. It really is. Oh God. Okay, before I melt on the camera, God, shut up, Marte. Shut your damn mouth. How about the weather, guys? The weather's awesome. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, awesome weather. Damn, that was not a smooth transition. What the fuck am I doing? All right, I'm out of here, guys, before I implicate myself. All right. Fuck. Did I really do this shit? Oh, my mic is... Hey, you guys didn't hear that? I got to edit this shit out of my fucking live. Damn. Fuck. All right, hopefully nobody's stream sniping right now. All right, let me get out of here. All right, man, I got to hit the gym, man. Fuck. Foot, all kinds of foot and mouth right now. Stop laughing, guys, please. This is not funny. This is not funny. Delete the stream. Yeah, God, yeah, delete the stream. Yes, I gotta delete the stream. I gotta edit the shit out of the stream. TOS. Yeah, TOS. That's what it was. TOS at the evening. That's what it was. TOS. You guys didn't see any of that transpired. Yeah, none of that happened. Sorry, I got to do it again. I'm so sorry. I have to do it again. That is adorable.
W's in the chat for me.
I had to. God. I'm going to put that on repeat later. Anyways, I'll talk to you guys later. You guys have a blessed evening. Christ is God. You did not see any of that at the end. That's my button slipped. I slipped a little bit, and that's what.
W's in the chat for me.
Damn it! I gotta stop. Yeah, the technical difficulties we're having. That's why I have to leave the stream, because of technical difficulties. Yeah, let's damn it. Damn, that messed me up. So distracting. Why do I do this to myself? All right. Let's you know what? The weather's good out here. Christ is God. I gotta bounce before I make this even worse and put more foot in my mouth. You guys take care. God bless, and I love you guys. Stay strong. I have a debate coming up. It's a 2v1, me versus Manure, and Mr. Work. Hopefully they can give me a good run for my money with this debate stuff. We'll see. And then I have a debate with some guy named Flow State. If he can pick a damn prompt, that would be good. We'll see what can happen. You know, if he can pick a prompt, that would be awesome. But I don't know. I feel like he's kind of scared.
W's in the chat for me.
Damn it. Okay, I really have to leave. I don't know what the hell just happened. But my knees got weak. Yeah. All right, I'm out of here, guys. You guys take care.